Hey Nour, did you ever get around to editing your book?
Editing? I can't even read!
Oh.
Hey guys, Nour here, and here are 5 tips on how to edit your novel. But first, did you know that I'm hosting a Divinity Falling merch giveaway? To learn more about how to win these babies, stay tuned till the end. I might be one of the few writers out there who actually love to edit, but it's true, I really do. To me, editing my novel is relief. It's like when your house is dusty and cluttered and you have a pile of dishes in the sink, and then you go ahead and clean it all up. It's that feeling. It's tidying the house until it's sparkly clean, and then you get to sit down feeling fresh. Now, you don't have to enjoy editing, but you still have to do it. In fact, you have to do editing whether you're self-publishing your novel or traditionally publishing it. That's because no literary agent is going to accept your book if it's sloppy. Similarly, if you're self-publishing your book, you don't want to give your manuscript to an editor and have them rewrite everything. Because that's what happens if your story is cluttered from beginning to end. They will have to rewrite your sentences and suggest major changes in your story and structure. So do yourself a favor and edit your novel before you query literary agents or send your manuscript to an editor. So now you're probably thinking, oh no, how in the world will I edit my novel? It's so hard. Where will I even start? The dishes are piled in the sink, there are thousands of dirty forks, and there's a dead roach somewhere. Nour, I don't know what to do. And to that, I will say, relax. Editing isn't as daunting as you might think it is, because you already have everything down. You have the skeleton, now you're just going to add the flesh. My first step is to go through your manuscript thinking of what needs to be removed, revised, or added for the sake of your plot and characters. So at this stage, you wouldn't worry about grammar, spelling, sentence structure, or even your choice of words. You're simply going through your novel, analyzing which characters can be removed if they have no purpose, and adding or removing details that you might have thought of later on in the writing process. I know that I sometimes think of something halfway through the book and add it in, but then realize that I'll have to go back and add it to earlier chapters. Likewise, if you need to remove a detail that never quite made the cut when you thought it might, this is your chance to do that as well. In Divinity Falling, I actually wrote in several best friends in the early chapters, but then never mentioned them ever again. So during this stage of editing, I wiped them from existence, just like that. I snapped them away like Thanos. You could also add or change in any character or story detail like hair color, location, and so on. My second tip is to go through your novel and look at the sentences themselves. Now, you concentrate on removing anything unnecessary in your language. For example, examine the following words and see if they can be cut out. That, very, really, just, then, literally, down, up. You might be thinking, why would I remove the words up and down and that? Those are harmless. But are they always harmless? When you see the sentence, I stood up, change it to I stood. There's only one direction you could stand, and that's up. So you don't need to say it. If you write I descended down the stairs, change it to I descended the stairs. Because again, there's only one direction to descend. It's better to write it's great she sings for fun than to write it's great that she sings for fun. The word that is just filler here, and it will clutter your story. If you started many sentences with the word and, see if you can remove it and still have an impactful sentence. This is the decluttering stage. And obviously, these are just a few words you can examine. You should go even deeper and make sure you don't repeat the same words too many times. If you say the word monster in one sentence, say beast or creature in the next. Basically, don't overdo the same word so many times in a row. If you have so many dialogue tags in a row, like he said, he said, I said, cut them down. Once you've indicated who's speaking, we know the other person is the other person. After that, only indicate with a dialogue tag when there's a shift from the 2 speakers to a 3rd speaker. My third tip is to go through your story and analyze your actual word choices. Should you use the word fell or the word plummeted? Should you use the word rained or the word drizzled? Even look at your dialogue and see if it can be made to sound more natural. And remove any words that are overly fancy for the sake of being fancy. I'm talking about flowery language. That stuff may have worked in stories published a century ago, but not so much now. We enjoy lyrical but natural sentences, so don't try too hard to sound smart. Saying he ate quickly lacks the vividness of he swallowed his 5-course meal in under 5 minutes. Or he looked at her angrily isn't as good as he glared at her. They obviously both indicate anger, but one is straight to the point and packs a punch. Adjectives, for the most part, are the enemy of showing versus telling. They are still necessary every now and again, but don't rely on them to create action and move your reader. So if you see them in your writing, consider whether switching them with a different word or rewriting your sentence might be more impactful. And my last tip is to go through your story again and see if the arc is good. You know, the exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. Basically, is your story exciting from beginning to end? Does it have a strong conflict and great subplots that move the story forward? Is the climax of the story full of action and emotional turmoil? Does your story end by wrapping up all loose ends? If so, you're good to go. If so, this is when you could think of what needs to be changed or added to make this happen. I actually rewrote the last chapter of Divinity Falling because it didn't pack a punch initially. So do your homework, read through carefully. And once you make those changes, go back and edit again, because you'll probably find more things to edit. But do also keep in mind that eventually you'll have to trust that you've done your best and just send that baby to that editor or agent. They'll guide you from there. So those are all my tips for you on how to edit your novel. And now on to the giveaway. I will be giving 3 lucky winners a signed Divinity Falling bookmark and an I'm No Angel sticker. But how do you win these babies? Good question. All you have to do is take a photo of your copy of Divinity Falling and share on social media using the hashtag Divinity Falling and tagging me in it. Use my social media links below, and you have until Friday, December 27th to enter. Good luck! And before we go, a quick shout out to Sarah Frayne from my shout out tier over on Patreon, as well as all my other patrons. Thank you all for your support. If you liked what you saw, consider subscribing and follow me on social media. And remember, Nour for president!